The Neng Xiong, the Hmong Early Childhood Coalition, and or our ninth summit here over at New Millennium Academy. So our members. This is Zingving Lee. Hi, Neng Xiong. And this tonight is Bao Ving.
Hi, Neng Xiong.
Yeah, so our summit here is here to really help support and provide information to big Hmong families to bắt hơi theo bắt hơi bây giờ mình Hmong cái là chỉ li这个的贴到了都是。Okay, so really to help support our children, ensuring that they will be successful. And today, so we have a lot of different speakers that are here to help support and providing information, resources, not just to families, but to our community, to our leaders, and to our professionals that are working with our Hmong children and our Hmong families.
This is our ninth summit. So Bitu or Bika Summit, Tao Bi Tao Lu, Junga Xiong, I'm Alpa Tao Lulu. They shono ye be ha Xiong Jua could be or La Shibilu Summit, ninth one. So yeah, me chitao bao to be na la me be in Yahoo Facebook ha be more ha Facebook, so you may follow be La Shibi more ha website as well. So follow us on our website. Being more tao yang could be more get search or be na zi mong be ya ku ju min your ha be ya ku your educational professionals be more trainings the ha so yeah me chitao bao to be na la me shai be ha Facebook ha be ha website the shi.
So Limbao ha be more ilu website. Our website is www.hmongearlychildhoodcoalition.org, and the be more Facebook ha Instagram. So ya me mo ya le Facebook e me chau Hmong Early Childhood Coalition ke be in chu tao. Chỉ tăng lên tao be tu sa tong ke ya cho GE cho son son blah chi chua. So ya more question la chi lo ya ta me more question a chi se lo or to make a min yo lo ke ba e me ni na ke hu to che be ma le ya le cha lo ya ta be chi bao be ma le cha che me, okay.
Trong mấy cha này cha chị nhớ cho tàu vàng ta chế Colombia hoa Kevin Xiong của ya tu executive director là CEO tổ lúc chỉ cần ta New Millennium Academy nó nó be lu Hmong Early Childhood Education Coalition Summit ya lu trong sa lang mua cái bang ha tham gia cho be cha này chị Hmong hạt chuẩn để be cha mi tu mi nhiều cái nhục khối yu lu chuẩn cho cho nuôi nhiều chi, một số cái cảnh đạo, số cái bang cho nhà cho chỉ có bố bảo hạt một số cái bang luôn được cho nhà cho chữ, cho chỉ cảnh đạo, cho sư phụ, cho cái online sinh, dù tụi mình nhiều tàu vàng ta chế, sau bên lúc conference, nói vậy lúc conference có bang cho nhà cho chỉ số linh số tu.
Navigating the needs of our children, families, and community. Lúc đó bên mua cái cả cái công việc bên này ở trên là xử lý bây giờ ngõ lần lo được cho lúc của hậu quả muốn được đi sau của summit. Bây giờ nó đi từ của chuyên sinh của Dr. Calvin Yang tôn thờ bên thả nguyên trí. Phía bên họ mua cái bác của nó trong sáng trở lo được cho nên phía cho hậu mua của bác donational bên mua của khu vendor cái in chỉ bên mua sinh hoạt thông tin chế đi làm cái bác của đi sắm tấu sáng chơi từ cho nó cho hậu lưu mong early childhood development và bố mẹ của mình trước thì phải thực hiện.
So much everyone for taking your time. What do you think she could do? You know, mà bên Hmong Early Childhood Coalition là là bắt sơ bên cái gì là bắt sơ bên cái nhiều Hmong, so really to support and encourage our Hmong children to be the best that they can be. And this is our ninth summit. We've done this yearly in the past. It now changed up a little bit, so maybe not every year, but every other year now. So please look forward to more of these we really want to acknowledge the fact that our summit here would not be possible without the support and collaboration of our community members. So for those of us who are in the room, if you are part of the Hmong Early Childhood Summit planning team, can you please stand up? Stand up, maybe wave your hand. I know you're in here, Kevin, I see you over there. There's Val, Lindsay. And just to know that our summit has been in collaboration with not just the organization ourselves, but with the collaboration of all these other community members. We have community members, we have parents, we have professionals and other organizations that have come together to make this summit possible. So thank you to the planning team. I also wanted to thank our sponsors who were able to help fund our summit for us so that we can make this possible. Especially for our New Millennium Academy for helping to give us the space to use for cooking our meals. So the delicious congee or multi you guys had this morning, New Millennium lunch staff, they're the one who actually cooked those. And lunch this afternoon will also be cooked by New Millennium as well. So thank you to them for providing all of that for us. Also to thank Helping Grow, United Health Group, and TARS for the funding and support that they're giving us to make our summit possible. So again, lastly, thanks everyone for taking your time to be here today. And I really hope that today we all will be able to walk away this morning with maybe a tool, a strategy, a piece of knowledge, or a connection to someone here that will help us be able to go back and help support our Hmong children the best that we can. Thank you.
Ví dụ ví dụ phó chí sĩ đặc biệt là đi tạo trở thành Việt Nam và ngoài mình tất nhiên là đi ở một hem trên sân đường ở một số đi cao tất nhiên là của nhà ở bốn tàu thì mà đi ngày thọ mà kỳ năm hết tạo trở thành Việt Nam thì cho ấy cứ trở lại từ những quan thì mà xem kia thì phá đồ cho nên tàu kia đồ và chuyện từ Indonesia thì người này chỉ cho họ người thì gọi là cho họ tiền nào để thảo luận là đến Dr. Calvin Yang received his PhD in counseling psychology from the APA accredited counseling psychology program at St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Dr. Yang received clinical training in community mental health, residential treatment centers, and university counseling settings. Dr. Yang is currently a postdoctoral resident at Crossroads Institution in downtown Los Angeles, where he conducts psychological assessments and provides psychotherapy for a wide range of mental health issues to emerging adults and university students. In his spare time, Dr. Yang creates and publishes content on social media to teach and educate about the Hmong culture, language, and bicultural experiences as a Hmong American. He acknowledges the intergenerational gaps, incongruence in cultural values, communication difficulties due to varying levels of language proficiency, and family conflicts that's related to differences in acculturation rates. Therefore, Dr. Yang creates dictum notes with hopes to reconnect generations through storytelling, explaining ancient proverbs, and encouraging the community to explore their ethnic and cultural roots. Moreover, he loves the outdoors and enjoys spending time fishing, hiking, playing sports, or just basking in the sun. Dr. Yang believes in living life to the fullest, and traveling has afforded him the opportunity to gain new perspectives and outlooks in life. He has been privileged to be surrounded by many influential people, and his hope is to encourage, motivate, and inspire others through the sharing of his gained knowledge from his life experiences. So, nhân viên ấy chỉ tôi bảo Dr. Hào Bình Nha đã被人被bỏ被切bỏ被切除bỏ的是不bỏ的，你就会有的是你就你nhớ được hồ Facebook đó, rồi chị nhớ được hồ YouTube, được qua câu ta tám đầu đi, tức là nhớ được hồ cho mình được hồ mua những trường chia chỉ chính, của bây giờ chúng tôi bỏ cái bỏ, và nhân viên chúng tôi bỏ thì như hồng hồng xanh kia, từ qua YouTube share nữa nè, okay? Thì let's welcome Dr. Calvin Yang, tôi sẽ được quốc tịch và giải nhau.
Good morning. Let's try that one more time. Good morning. All right. I know it's super early. I live in California. I don't know if that was mentioned or not, but I'm actually running California time right now. So right now, I'm in California. I'm sleeping right now. I'm snoozing. In the bio say that I love basking in the sun. So if you look at the pamphlet, you'll see my picture. You're probably wondering, this guy doesn't look like that picture. It's because I'm a little bit tan. So in California, it's really hot right now. So like this past Sunday, I decided to stay outside and tan a bit. And then, I don't know if you all like the sun or not. I fell asleep. I felt my skin burning, so I got burned. I left that in the dark. We got the technical stuff working on here, so we can start a little bit here, but I just want to introduce myself again. My name is Dr. Calvin Yang, and I'm a psychologist in California. I love working with adults and kids, and today I really want to just find time to talk about how we empower our kids, and how we work with our kids as well. I think that's such an important part for all of us to talk about tonight's conversation, so that we can empower our kids at the same time and help them reach their highest potential. I'm looking around the room, I'm scanning, and I noticed that we have a lot of Hmong people here, and we also have people who aren't Hmong as well. So I want to just kind of get a quick survey by show of hands, who understands Hmong? Okay, put your hands down. Who does not understand Hmong? All right. So this morning it's going to be Hmonglish, okay? Hopefully you're all okay with Hmonglish. Does anybody not know what Hmonglish is? Here's an example of Hmonglish. Hmonglish is I'm talking and don't up together. It goes back to English like this. So it may sound like I'm kind of going up and down on a wave scale, but hopefully it makes sense. If there's any important concepts or things that I need to interpret or have to go further into in English, and Hmong, I want to do that, just so that we're all on the same page as well. I'm going to get my clip here. Is it this one right here? I was saying that before I had my kids, my hair looked better than this. But now that I have 4 kids, and my oldest is now, she just turned 12, my hair started to turn a little white. Now I'm going to have a little bald in some spots. So raising kids is not an easy task at all. How many of you in this room have kids? Just by show of hands. All right, what I want you to do is keep the hand up, and I want you to reach across and give yourself a pat on the back. And tell yourself, you are awesome. And then turn to the person right next to you and say the same thing, you are awesome. Yes, you are awesome. Because even though, I have to give everyone credit here too, and I have to also give myself some credit as well. Acknowledge that as a parent, life is not easy. There's been many moments where I myself would cry and wonder, what the heck did I get myself into? I thought this was supposed to be a joyous moment where I get to come and bring a child to the world and be happy all the time, but I'm visited with a emotions. Mad at times, I'm upset, sad, and happy, and just filled with all sorts of emotions. But all of you being here today, I want to say, give yourself a pat on the back and say you're awesome. Because you definitely deserve it. So I want to start off with this. What do our kids need? What if my audio works? know that when you see them smiling and happy like this is those emotions I was talking about, right? Those roller coaster emotions. And I love this video because if you have kids who are sad all the time and not sure what to do, somehow we experience that too. What they experience, we experience. We share an emotional bond with our kids. So I want to show a big video of my son Jordan there. He cracks me up every time and I'm always feeling after that. So what do our kids need? Our kids need social development. Bit more than social development, okay? Use that. Language and communication. My kids came from California to Minnesota this morning or last night. They start, they just keep talking, they're so excited, so there's language development part that's so important. Cognitive development, the information processing, how to problem solve, and what they make literacy. Regulation of emotional behavior, we talked about emotions, what they know, to sing, we're excited, all of that. Those are all parts of emotions and behavior. Physical development. Kids love that physical activity. Moral development as well. But today, I don't have a whole lot of time to go through all of these different developments here, but the one I want to focus on is regulation of emotional behavior. Why is this important? Does anybody know, just by looking at this picture, can anybody relate to this picture? Just by showing hands again. I bet all you parents know exactly what this is, right? See that little head right there? It's not my picture, by the way. It's my little nephew, Max. My brother sent us this picture. My youngest brother, Mark. So my youngest brother, Mark, we've been waiting a long time for him to have a kid. Finally did it. This is his son. And he sent us the picture. It's like, can anybody relate to this? We're all looking at him like, Our kids are old. Of course we can relate to you. And so he's like, gosh, I can't catch a break. Right earlier, I told you, we're talking about how we have kids and we expect to have all those joyous moments only to find out that, you just want some peace and quiet. Because the house is always so busy. They don't know anything about keeping the house clean, right? All they want to do is play. That's okay too. Because that's part of this development that we talked about earlier, the social development, the connection, using language and all of that. We just want the house to be clean. But these little kids, they have a different agenda. They want to play, they're so curious. And so sometimes all we want is just peace and quiet. And even though I know we don't need to use the restroom at times, we may use the restroom for the sake of catching a breath. And then these little guys, they find themselves in the bathroom too, trying to get our attention. So as a parent, I can totally relate. When I saw this picture, immediately I had flashbacks to my days of 4 kids. And then along came this little thing right here. Can anybody relate with this picture here? What do you think's happening here? Yeah, you guessed it. Free time. Right? That's me right there, and my son right next door, and his little iPad. This little thing right here gave me a break, a huge break. That peace and quiet in the bathroom, we see that little hand no longer existed. As long as I put this in his hands, suddenly the house is quiet. Suddenly the house, the nice clean house that I wanted, existed. Not only that, I had time to eat my hot dog with rice and my mole pepper. And not just that, but look at me right here. I too had time to play with my device. So you can tell just by looking at these 2 pictures, how do you think the house is? Just by looking at this right here. The house is super quiet. The house is clean. No one's talking, everyone is busy. So that peace and quiet that I was looking for somehow finally existed this. So today I want to talk a little bit about the effects of screen time. Our devices can be used with different issues. Sometimes so what are some of the effects of screen time? The first thing I'll talk about is the increased risk of obesity and chronic disease. Why is this happening? There's a lot of research that also shows that this is happening because they're not physically active anymore. Some of the development that we talked about earlier, physical development is part of it. When we were growing up as little kids, how much time did we spend on the screen? Not that much. If anything, we waited until 2 o'clock. We know 2 o'clock is coming on. Let's say Full House is coming on. Anybody like Full House? Full House fans? Okay, not a whole lot of Full House fans in here. Marvel fans? Okay, we got a few. Okay, a few more. So whatever your favorite TV show was, you knew exactly what time that was going to come on. You knew it was going to come on at 2 p.m., 4 p.m., or 6 a.m., and you wake up beforehand just to watch that show. And as soon as the show ends, what happens? That's it. We're done. Now what do? We have free time. Now we're outside. We're playing with rocks. We're throwing sandals. We're finding our time. Anything to kill time, basically. So we were always out physically active, but our kids nowadays, we're seeing they're not doing that. They're spending more time in front of the screen. And most often the time, it's more of a sedentary behavior where they're just sitting. I don't know if you had kids like my kids. My kids, when I say sedentary sitting, I'm being too honest. My kids are upside down. That's what they're doing. They're not doing headstands, watching their iPads. I wish I had a photo, but that's my kids. Headstands, they're sitting, they're not doing anything at all but watching with little influence. Therefore, something else we're noticing is this low levels of energy being expended. The physical activity is decreased. 你有这个动物是你有新的你们是一个我YouTube all the time. Social emotional difficulties. Social emotional, when you hear this word, it's that connection. For example, 民谣的话，包括山上不是都本身给矛盾的。Forgive each other and that's that connection that kids need to build, is how to problem solve, how to engage in conversation. You don't know how to resolve it. They're not going to know how to do that either. That's a big problem for our kids. And I realized that this brings the emotional behavioral problems as well. This is what happens with kids when you take that iPad away. Why do you think this happens? Because when kids are on the iPads with their screens, you get that feeling, that excitement, and it's picked up inside you. They're watching, they're laughing, but that energy is not going anywhere. It's stored inside of them. It's stored inside. They're happy, they're excited, but it doesn't go anywhere. It sits with them while they sit in one of their devices. So when you take that device away, where does the energy go? When you take that device away, the kids suddenly look around like, wow, this is a new world living in. And now they have all this energy. They don't know what to do with this, so they start acting out. And then us parents sometimes, we get used to that quietness. We don't know what to do anymore. Because our children, we train ourselves to forget about how to interact with our kids. And so the you're crying and they're fighting, they don't know what to do. So sometimes we want to resort back to what was. That is and I am guilty of that. I remember when I had 4 kids, I think Poor house kid, oh my gosh, I don't know what else to do, but you give the iPad, and instantly the kids are suddenly confident. So I want to talk about something called instant gratification and stress, frustration tolerance. Anybody familiar with this immediate gratification? A show of hands. Yes, a few of you. So I'll explain what that is for us who don't understand or haven't seen this. This concept here, immediate gratification is to forego a benefit. So, for example, there's a study that was done before with little kids, marshmallow study. You've seen that before. It's a marshmallow studies where kids sit across the table and then they put some marshmallows in front of the kids. And then what they tell the kid is, if you leave this marshmallow alone, and I'm going to leave the room, and when I come back, if you don't touch this marshmallow, I'll give you another one. They want to see if the kids will wait for the other reward, which may be better, or they want to eat that marshmallow because it's right there. So if the kid takes the marshmallow and starts eating it, that's an instant gratification. Right then. They would rather have it now than wait for a better, larger benefit. So instant gratification is kind of what this iPad and screens are doing. And I look at my kids before that, I'm seeing it, my little nieces and nephews now, kids that I work with all the time. Even kids as young as like 1 and 2 years old, they know how to navigate YouTube like nobody's business. I see that little thumb and they move so fast. I can't even type that fast on my phone, but these kids flip through it so fast. They flip. Oh, I don't like that. They try, oh no, I don't like it. They keep going and they watch these shows and they click what they want. 10 seconds, they flip to the next one. And referencing what I talked about earlier about our time, we didn't have that luxury, did we? We waited until 6 o'clock for the next show. We waited a whole week to do the show. Kids are now having instant gratification. Flick through it. Like it, click it, you don't like it, next one. And it's so accessible to the kids. And then the stress, frustration tolerance goes down. You take that iPad away, boom, everything breaks loose. Kids crying, they don't know what to do with themselves anymore. It's becoming a big problem for a lot of us parents. This instant gratification doesn't only apply to kids, but it applies to us as parents as well as adults. When the kids are crying again, we can't tolerate that crying anymore. We want that crying to stop. So innately, we don't even think about it. We just give them the electronic quiet down for a little bit. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Sometimes we just need a break too. But how do we find balance in this? So that we also can be the best version of ourselves for our kids too. Because they deserve the best. We as parents have responsibilities too. So here's the reason why I say that it's not a bad thing to have these electronics or to use it, but we use it with purpose, right? Does anybody know what this is? Yeah, it's a leaf. What's it used for? There you go, communication, right? So think about it, we use leaves to communicate. I can do this anymore, I wish I could. But I listen to these music that my parents used to listen to, and they're thousands of miles away. I'm talking about mountains, they're blowing leaves and communicating with other people. That's how they communicate. By blowing these leaves and communicating and speaking through musical tones. And the cell phones as well. Notice the picture that I used. These were our cell phones, wasn't it? Back in the days. The trusty Nokia that never breaks. And then this right here is our kids' generation. More high-tech devices. But the whole purpose is communication and connection. That's what these are used for. So an analogy that I want to use to help us understand more about what I mean by this being a tool. Think about a hammer, for example. Pretend this is a hammer, right? If this hammer is right here, this is a tool, I leave it there. If I'm walking around over here, I notice, oh, a nail sticking out. I'm going to walk back over here, get the hammer, go back over here, put the nail in, and I'm done with the tool. Go back over here, and leave it. Right? That's the purpose of the tool. When you need it, you know to use it. Our cell phones should also be like that as well. Where we need to make a call, pick it up, make a phone call. done. That's a tool. But if we're spending countless hours on this, sometimes it's not aimlessly going through it. It's no longer a tool. It becomes a device that sometimes we feel kind of addicted to it. I know this because I'm on social media. And that's why I'm always trying to produce some content that will help us understand more about it, how we use this appropriately as well, and how to engage and disengage. If anything, you probably haven't seen a whole lot of me on social media because I've been trying to find ways of how do we balance this? How do I so balance my content so that when people are going to watch it, that they're not stuck on that and they're going to the next, the next, the next. How do we use it more as a tool to pick up information to help ourselves? So how can we help? I use time limits with my kids. Anybody else use time limit on their kids' iPads? Yeah? It's so easy, isn't it? You look at your phone, you're like, all right, kids, this is it. 2 hours a day, set it, done. An important thing that I want to say about time limits and setting time limits is talk about it with your kids. Make sure that it's not authoritative sort of approach and say, 2 hours and that's it, don't ask. If you ask, you're done. The kids don't feel involved in the process. If it's a collaborative process where the kids are involved, they wouldn't just come all each time game, understand that this is what we're going to do here, this is what we're taking, with the approach we're taking, okay, they feel like they're involved too. So they're much more likely to go along with it and commit to it as well. Now, the time limit is a problem too if it's not discussed with our kids. And when that time limit goes up, you know what happens? They ask for more. When they get that 5-minute mark, they're like, oh, time check, 5 minutes. And they're going to come back and say, can I please just have more time? Please, more time. All the time. Anybody else's kids do that? Yes, you know that feeling, right? You know 2 hours is coming up, you look at it, and you know as a parent, you're also thinking, damn, do I give them another hour? I could use another hour. I have emails to catch up with. I have wives that I haven't made with. The house is a mess. I could use another hour. So the kids are going, please, please. You know you're right thinking, I do want to give it to the kids. But if we give it to the kids all the time, they know they have it too late. They know that mom and dad or caregivers, I can't just say mom and dad, caregivers, they understand if I do this, our caregivers are going to get in. So we also have to learn how to set boundaries and say no. This is going to be an important step in working with your kids. This is good time. You'll probably learn more about brain development later on as well, but if we think about our kids' brains and our brains as adults, it's very different. Our brains develop from the back to the front. And the front is probably the most important piece of our body, the frontal cortex here. Because this is where all the executive functioning happens. Earlier we saw cognitive development, get sound how to process information, but neurologic is not fully developed here yet. Have you ever heard like some people can't rent cars until they're 25 years old? Because this is not fully developed. The judgment is not that great. It's there, but it's not the best. Usually around age 25, you see a decrease in car accidents. And also, I guess, some connection with the development of our brains. So as adults, they're going to live young. We do very, very good at our frontal cortex work, our executive function work, so we can make sound decisions. But our kids, they don't have that part yet. They have that over here, where it's more of the emotional expression piece. So they know all that. That's all they know how to do is what you said. They push or shout, that's all they know. Be able to logically understand what's happening. This is the part where they don't want to see that this is a step back. This is the part where we have to play a role in talking with the kids and guiding them through this process so they understand that when the time limit's up, we use our time to do something else. And it's hard to set these boundaries because we know we can use things of time. We never want to see our kids hurt. One time, I'll tell you this is the truth. When I had my first baby, speaking of not what I kids were, when I had my first baby, she was born, and usually they need to do a blood test. And when they do the blood test, they have to prepare our baby, right, to get the blood to go test. And I remember I got so so upset for some reason. When my baby's foot was out and nurse pricked my baby and the blood came out, I was so upset. I'm like, don't touch my baby. I already know this, even though I knew that the purpose of this is to give love and testimony. The fact that my kids were being hurt, that really hurt me. So we never want to hurt our kids, but we also can understand that this is for their emotional development. This is part of the development process. You know what our kids are going to say to us? They're always going to say, I'm so bored, I have nothing to do. That's my dog Ching, by the way. I'm so bored, I have nothing to do. I don't know what to do. What am I going to do, Dad? Take my iPad away. So they're going to be upset, they're going to cry, they're going to plead their case and try to get you to say yes again. This is usually the go-to. I'm so bored, I don't know what to do. But we as adults, maybe follow that, you know it. But don't wait, Papa, don't do it again. You shout, what you shout. You're always going to keep doing it over and over again. But we have to set these boundaries, but not just set the boundaries again. And part of what's emphasized is we play a role in this as well. We don't just say no and leave it, we say no and we walk through it. Another part that I'm starting to learn too as myself, throughout training and having with kids is validating the experience. So that's a boy. Don't yell like that. It's a boy, or don't even like chastise them as well. Say, I gave you 2 hours, now this is going to act. It doesn't help the kid. But maybe the most of help is I understand what you're saying. And what else can we do with our time? Right? Earlier when I talked about our times, when 2 o'clock hits and the show's over, we can reset, rewind. When the time is done, we're done. So we go outside, we go throw rocks, we go throw sandals, we ride our bikes. And that's what we have to help our kids understand and start developing as well. So how do they get their creativity back? Using that time for other things outside of the screen time moment. How to build that stress tolerance again. So that in the future they know how to bring a Chan-Chi king. That's going to be very important. So, one time, I showed this picture, my son said to me, I was talking to my son at our dinner table, and my son's doing his homework, and I'm on my phone. And I'm checking emails because I'm working on it late, and I see something to do. My son, Jordan, right here, the one I was going, oh my God! So I hear, he said to me, he said, Dad, my teacher said that if parents are looking at their phone while they're trying to help you do homework, they're not really paying attention. And when he said that, I immediately paused. I processed it for maybe a few seconds, and I thought to myself, wow, son, how correct are you? Where is the inaccuracy in your statement? So, for the folks that understand in Hanoi, we don't have the G. What is that? What is that? What is that? Chúng ta biết bắt vô cái trường hợp của nó. Giờ có lúc họ nhau sai với phòng sẽ bị chạy tàu cái trường hợp của sự cái trường hợp. Hiện tại sự cái cái lúc chúng ta cũng có tạo thành sự wow. Với thằng cái hải phòng là từ so I put my phone away. And I didn't help him immediately. Actually, I sat there and shaking. Thought to myself, wow, what kind of parent am I? And then I realized too, this is the environment we're living in right now. This is what the pandemic has done to in a lot of our lives. The pandemic has been a real struggle for a lot of us. These devices have been such an easy escape for a lot of us because we haven't been able to go out. Not only is it an escape, it's been a tool. Those have been two people so tired that we can't distinguish between them and tool. Or they mean something that we use to escape. So he said that to me, so wow, I gotta find a way to balance this. So I don't know if you know the emotional damage, not gonna be emotional damage, I'm saying emotional connection that's connected to your kids. So I had the luxury of catching this picture of my kids and my parents, and I love this picture so much because what's it about them? To meet you know, to speak with them, to talk with them, to teach them. These are things that we have to incorporate and integrate as well. The screen time is going to be important. I'm not saying we can't because this is where the future is going. If you look at our kids and look at our own lives, a lot of things we do now is with technology. So that is going to key. But how do we find balance so that we can balance our lives equally? I show this video right here because it means a lot to me. I'm going to show first and talk about what happens here, but let me just do it first. Now, I was very low, but my dad is reading a book to my kids, and he's reading a book about planets. He's reading the book, and he's letting the kids answer. So he's reading the book, there's a question in the book, and there's also an answer statement as well. So he would read the question, and these are my sons, Jordan and Marshall. They would answer the question as they read the book together. This really, I worked from home during this time, and this was during the pandemic as well. Well, no, it wasn't out there yet. This is when I first started working from home and I was introduced. And I caught this video. And I snuck. I'm actually upstairs. I zoomed in, so it's kind of pixelated. But I really like it. And this is something I cherish a lot. Because this is something that's missing. I noticed in the family. A lot of our families don't do this. Something that's missing that I'm hoping that we can get back. How do we balance our time with electronics and devices? Use it to also have this kind of engagement here as well. Because without this, our kids are going to know how to use the devices, but they're going to communicate with us as well. I work with a lot of kids in my line of work. There's a lot of kids who also tell me, I don't know how to communicate this to my parents. Because my parents don't even listen to me either. That really breaks my heart when I hear that. Because there's not much emotional connection. I really want us to think about how do we find ways to balance this so that our kids and us can continue to talk to one another, to be able to communicate, to develop all those different skills that we're talking about. And then most importantly, communities. How do we branch this outside the family into the community so that our communities can continue to foster this? How do we find ways to branch us out into the community through policy development, through the advocacy work that we're seeing? How do we branch us out so that our kids can learn how to understand who they are as they develop, and how to connect with others as well? Screen time is important. Family time is also important as well. Finding balance of that is the goal. That's it for today. Thank you so much. Great job. I hope to see you all later as well.
Challenging is the fact that unemployment has been an issue and continues to be an issue in the Hmong community. Something that she wants for her family in particular, but also things that she's seen with the Hmong community as well as Hmong parents is that there's this intersection that unemployment's going down, so we need to find employment, but then when we find employment, we have to find daycare, and then when we have to find daycare, then there's this fear that we're going to transmit the COVID by going out into the community and bringing that back home. And so I just want programs to come and support families with daycare so that we could have protected time for our families so that we can actually go out and find employment. I also own a business. Sorry, I'm speaking as if I'm her. So I also own.
Okay? They're not going to listen to you. So how can we say that differently, right? So then, I don't think that my child's teacher is a good fit for what my child needs. You see? You focus on to minua. To anybody. Anybody. You don't make sure you hire the look on okay? So the next one. What the heck? What do you mean? Right? You help me understand so I can better support my child. Bác của tôi ta to, tôi đi bố bác